You may have observed it on someone. A simple bracelet, a crimson cord tied around the left wrist, sometimes worn, other times recent, without flashy knots, without decorations. Only a cord, but it's not just any cord. And it's certainly not there for fashion. Did you know that this bracelet holds one of the most archaic and powerful spiritual mysteries on the planet? It's not an accessory, it's an emblem, a protection, a commitment, a direct union with the hidden forces that govern the cosmos. And whoever wears it doesn't do so by accident. That modest crimson cord before the eyes of those who don't understand. It hides centuries of millennial knowledge. Visionaries wore it. The enlightened used it. Elder women guarded it, they tied it. Mothers to newborns, scholars advised it. And now it has arrived to you. Why? On the left wrist. For what reason? Crimson? So simple and simultaneously so powerful. What energy exists behind such a tiny act? They say that whoever places a crimson cord on their left wrist is not only seeking protection, they're awakening something deeper. They're consciously choosing to connect with their strength, with their inner perception, with their authentic destiny. They're manifesting to the cosmos. I am alert. I am ready. The cord walking with intention, but not just anyone should wear it, and not everyone is ready for what it symbolizes. Because the crimson cord on the left wrist doesn't only protect, it also reveals, and that can be disturbing because sometimes it reveals realities you've tried to avoid, because it awakens archaic memories, because it links you with individuals you haven't left behind, even though you appear to have, because it activates synchronicities, because it's not an ordinary cord, it's a key to your feminine energy, to your spiritual sensitivity, to that part of you that doesn't need logical justification to recognize that something superior exists, something invisible but perceivable. In this content, we're going to explore this enigma together. You'll discover why multiple civilizations agree on this emblem. Why is it worn on the left, not on the right? Why must it be tied in a particular way? And most importantly, what happens when you wear it? What are you summoning? What are you releasing? What are you accepting? Because the crimson cord isn't just tied, it's revered, it's experienced. And it changes you. If you stay until the end, you'll receive more than information. You'll gain lucidity. You'll understand why you've experienced certain obstacles in your relationships. You'll discover what force you're unconsciously magnetizing. And primarily, you'll learn to use this emblem as an instrument of spiritual connection, energetic purification, and personal reunion. This isn't just another piece of content. This could be the beginning of a journey you had already begun without realizing it, because the cord already lives within you. You just need to remember it. And it is that the crimson cord is not merely a tool of protection or connection with special people. It's fundamentally an energetic portal, a physical symbol that activates your spiritual field, because everything that manifests in the material has an echo in the invisible and vice versa. By placing this cord on your left wrist, you're enabling a direct entrance to the receptive energy of your essence. The left wrist isn't chosen casually in mystical and esoteric traditions. The left side of the body is the channel through which universal energy enters. It's the side that receives, that assimilates, that perceives, the side of the spirit, while the right side emits and gives, the left listens, senses, channels. And that's why the crimson cord isn't worn just anywhere. It's placed where it most intimately connects with your energetic essence. Have you wondered why, when someone touches our left wrist, we experience greater fragility? It's because that area guards memories, because there resides the beating of your sensitivity, of your fears, of your most authentic desires. But there's something additional that almost no one mentions. The crimson cord is also a reminder, a conscious anchor, a physical point that returns you to the now every time you look at it. Every instant your hand encounters it, every moment you feel it brush your skin, it's communicating to you in silence. Return to yourself, because the greatest spiritual force is remembering who you are, remembering what you deserve, remembering that you're not here by chance. And it's at this point where another deeply powerful aspect intervenes. Intention. The crimson cord by itself is not magical. What makes it sacred is the intention with which you tie it. The expressions you pronounce when placing it, the energy you deposit in that act. In multiple traditions, It's considered that it must be tied by someone who truly loves you, because love, true love, is the greatest channel of spiritual energy that exists. When someone ties it on your left wrist with pure intention, whether a grandmother, a partner, a mentor, a friend, that cord transforms into a seal, into an energetic mark that envelopes you, sustains you, and guides you. Now listen to this carefully, because here is where the crimson cord transcends protection and penetrates into much deeper territory. Personal commitment, because wearing that cord is also making a promise, not to others, not to the cosmos, to yourself. Promise not to abandon yourself anymore, not to continue ignoring your inner perception, to cease betraying yourself to please others, to begin respecting your limits, to no longer silence what you experience. It's very simple to put on a crimson cord. The difficult, the truly sacred thing is sustaining what it represents, because once you commit to your evolution, you can no longer return to ignorance without experiencing suffering. Once you choose to open your eyes, you can no longer look the other way. Once you decide to connect with your soul, you can no longer exist from disconnection without feeling empty. And there's something additional, something you may have never heard, but that completely transforms the way we understand the power of the crimson cord on the left wrist. This cord doesn't only unite people, it also connects timelines. Because we're not just talking about human relationships. We're talking about destinies, about karmas, about learnings that come from other existences or from this same one repeated over and over until you decide to break the pattern. What if the crimson cord were also a bond between your past self, your present self, and your future self? What if every time you wear it, you're weaving your evolution, healing the wounds of your childhood, honoring the decisions of your present, and consciously guiding the path you want to live tomorrow? The crimson cord is a symbol of destiny, yes, but it's also a tool to shape it, because destiny is not something that happens to you. It's something you build, that you select, that you purify, that you modify. When you choose to place that cord on your left wrist, you're expressing, I accept my story, I revere my bonds, but now I choose with whom, how, and from where I want to connect. No longer from the wound, no longer from fear, no longer from lack, but from genuineness, from the soul, from love without dependence, from connection without suffering. You can perceive the distinction because it's not the same. To love out of habit than to love with consciousness, it's not the same. To be bound by karma than to be bound by decision. And the crimson cord assists you in distinguishing between both, in observing with lucidity what connects you and also what requires liberation, because not all cords deserve to remain tied. Some must be released with gratitude. Others must be consumed with symbolic fire, and others must be strengthened with presence, communication, and shared spiritual energy. That's why, in certain practices, when someone wants to close a cycle, they cut the crimson cord in silence and bury it in the earth or throw it into the ocean, not as an act of contempt but as a ceremony of liberation. Because honoring a bond also implies recognizing when it has completed its purpose. You realize how many dimensions are hidden behind a simple cord. You can feel that it's not a simple bracelet, but a reflection of your current energy, of your bonds, of your emotional and spiritual state. A reflection that doesn't judge, but also doesn't deceive. And now I want to invite you to something. Look at your left wrist. Is it empty or does a cord already exist there? Who placed it on you? With what intention did you do it? Does it continue to have meaning for you? Because if not, it's time to renew your energy, to create space for the new, to cut with love and to grasp more intensely what you truly want to sustain. In the coming minutes, we're going to go even deeper. We're going to talk about the meaning of the crimson color, the Kabbalistic origin of this practice, its relationship with the tree of life, and how you can use the crimson cord as a tool for energetic protection against people who drain you, environments that weaken you, and thoughts that sabotage you. You'll also learn how to charge the cord with intention, how to purify it when you perceive it has lost strength, and when is the perfect moment to replace it. This isn't just content, it's a ritual in itself, an energetic activation, a guide to reconnect with yourself, with your path, and with your sacred bonds. Stay until the end, not out of curiosity, but because your soul is requesting it. Because deep down, you already knew the cord is waiting, and this time you choose how to tie it. And now that you've arrived here, I'm going to reveal something that almost no one tells. something that's not found in books or videos or even in traditional ceremonies. Because what I'm going to share with you isn't theory, it's vibration. It's a key, a frequency. Did you know that the crimson cord on the left wrist can also function as a channel to elevate your vibratory field? It doesn't only block dense or negative energies, it also magnifies the signals the cosmos sends you. It makes you more sensitive to the subtle, more receptive to signs, to coincidences that aren't, to messages that arrive disguised as intuition. It's like tuning an antenna. And the more present you are, the clearer the signal will be, the more intense the guidance, the more direct the synchronicity. And there's something additional. When the cord begins to deteriorate, to tangle, to break gradually, don't overlook it because it's not a defect, it's a message. The cord is wise. It's materialized energy. And when it begins to deteriorate, it's communicating that something is closing, that a phase has fulfilled its purpose, that a part of you is ready for something else. Some call it wear, but it's actually evolution. That's why each crimson cord has a cycle, a beginning and end. And if you listen, if you pay attention, you'll know when it's time to renew it. And that moment is sacred. That moment speaks of your capacity to release, to be grateful for what's been lived, and to create space for new connections that are more conscious, more aligned, more true. Because the more honest you are with yourself, the more authentic the cord that manifests in your existence will be. And listen to this. Not all crimson cords are of romantic love. Some arrive as guides, others as soul companions, others as brief encounters that mark forever, and others as mirrors that show you what you must heal. Each cord that arrives in your life transforms you. Some awaken you, others teach you to protect yourself. Others teach you to love yourself. None is a mistake, and perhaps now you understand why you can also be the crimson cord in someone else's life. Maybe without knowing it, your energy, your presence, your existence has been a before and after for another being. And that too is a spiritual act. A form of love that doesn't seek to possess, only to reflect. And that's the purest beauty of the crimson cord. It doesn't need bindings because it's made of soul, not knots. So if you felt that this message was for you, if something within you has stirred, if you felt that knot in your throat or that silent certainty, don't ignore it. The universe has just spoken to you, and now you decide what to do with what you've heard. I invite you to write a very special phrase in the comments. Write it only if you feel it, only if it resonates with your soul. I am ready to tie the cord with consciousness, because it's not about wearing a bracelet. It's about what it represents, how you hold it, how you honor it, how you walk from now on. And if this content has ignited something in you, if it has touched a dormant part of your being, subscribe, but not out of habit. Subscribe as one who leaves an offering, as one who says, I am prepared to remember more, to awaken more, to connect more. Because this channel isn't just a place for content, it's an energetic space. A circle of souls who are choosing to walk with the eyes of the soul open. And now, yes, the moment has arrived to conclude this circle for today. But before leaving, I want you to do something. Close your eyes just for a few moments. Breathe deeply and visualize a crimson cord that emerges from your left wrist, that expands in the air like liquid light, that connects with your heart, with your inner perception, with your purpose, and then fades toward infinity. That cord is you. And remember this. There is no force more powerful than a soul that has chosen not to forget who it is. Thank you for being present. Thank you for experiencing. Thank you for remembering. And now go and create magic. We'll meet where invisible cords intertwine us again.